What's up, guys? We made it to the end of the week. It is Saturday, 9/4/2021. Our strength today is a little bit of powerlifting. We're gonna do some back squats. We're gonna do 3 sets of 8. You got 65 to 75%. So meaning you can kind of find that window between. You got 15 minutes to get this done. So our goal for our back squat today, we don't usually do this as far as many reps compared to our sets. We've been doing a lot, especially going through that back cycle, back squat and front squat cycle, doing big reps, little volume with a lot of weight. So for today, I want you to kind of adjust yourself as far as getting into the right position. So we haven't been back squatting or front squatting a lot. If you do it on your own, heck yeah, keep doing that. But 3 sets of 8 at 65, 75% is pretty light. It's a little bit more on that volume side. So really focus on positioning and core. So make sure those feet are nice and planted, and make sure those knees are aligned. You have a strong core, and we're working, making that first rep to that last 8th rep very similar as far as positioning. So don't go too heavy if you haven't done this in a long time. If you feel comfortable and you have been back squatting lately, go up and really feel confident in that 75% and kind of push that weight around as best you can. It shouldn't be that challenging as far as the percentages, but have fun with it and get through it. We're gonna be seeing a little bit more back squatting coming soon. For our workout today, promise this is not a Chacon Classic, it's just a little bit more challenging, and I like to kind of test the Saturdays with our partners. So 3 rounds per time, it's with a partner, like I said, and you have 19 minutes to get this done. So before I get started with explaining the scales, it's one of those workouts that if you don't finish, that's okay. It's just to see and test where you're at as far as all the technical movements you're about to see. So really push it, kind of test it as far as weight. I know the weight's gonna be a little lighter, and I know the movements aren't as challenging. So get into the movements. It is 10 synchronized thrusters at 95 and 65. You're gonna do 30 toes to ring. So not toes to bar, toes to ring. This is a little bit more core isolation, and your hips a little bit driving. So it's a little bit slower. So take your time with the toes to ring. You're gonna share the reps of the 30, and then you're gonna do 10 synchronized overhead squats at 95 and 65, a 200-meter run together, 10 synchronized snatches at 95 and 65, and 10 ring muscle ups, and you're gonna share those reps as well. Let's go into our scales. So hustle WOD, we're just gonna break down the weight to 65 and 45, your toes above parallel, and with rings as well. So I still wanna create that challenge as far as isolating the core and driving our hips up towards the ceiling. And then overhead squats at 65 and 45, a 200-meter run, and snatches at 65 and 45 as well. And then we're gonna make this a little different than we usually do as far as scaling ring muscle ups. We're not gonna do jumping, but we're gonna do hustle WOD is gonna do seated banded ring muscle ups, meaning you're gonna have low rings kind of set up for dips. You're gonna sit down, put that false grip, and you're gonna wrap a band around your glutes, hold that thing tight, and lock out the arms in a nice hollow position. And all it is a dead pull to a locked out position or bottom catch position of a ring muscle up to an extension, right? So really work on that extension or that catch and then dip. And if you are scaling ring muscle ups, even if you're doing ring muscle ups, always practice landing with a nice strong press into your rib cage in order to stabilize yourself. It's very, very important as you progress in your ring muscle ups. Then for our good time, you're gonna do 45 and 25 for our thrusters. You're gonna do tuck ups, but again, still on the rings. And you're gonna do 45 25 pounds for overhead squats. You can do this with front squats as well if you don't quite have the mobility. You'll do a 100-meter run, you'll do snatches at 45 and 25, and then 10 jumping ring muscle ups. And if we're not quite there, you can also do jumping chest to bar pull-ups. For our masters athletes, it's gonna be pretty close to RX, except the weight's gonna be a little lower. So thrusters 75, 55, you'll still do the toes to ring. You're gonna do overhead squats at 75, 55 as well. 200-meter run, snatches at 75 and 55, and then 10 chest to bar pull-ups. So we're gonna eliminate that nice big pull and make it a little bit more condensed into the pulling to our chest, right? For our teens, it's gonna be pretty much the same as masters. So thrusters are the same at 75, 55. You got your toes to ring, your overhead squats, 75, 55, 200-meter run, snatches, 75, 55. And now the difference between our masters and our teens, you will actually perform the ring muscle up. So I want those teens to challenge themselves as far as kicking up and landing in that position. And even if it's that challenging, test it. Remember, like I said before, you don't have to finish this workout to actually get this workout done. It's a good test of your ability as far as all the technical movements you're gonna complete. So, like I said, like some tips and strategies and purpose. What I wanna do is test where you're at as far as your overhead squat mobility, your toes to ring control as far as your kip, and your ring muscle ups at that very high skill level gymnastics. So we got a little bit of weightlifting, we got a little bit of small amount of metabolic conditioning as far as the running, and you got a crap load of gymnastics. Now, let's break each movement down as far as what I need to see out of this. So for our thrusters, I want to see our hip crease get below parallel at the same time and standing up and locking out at the same time. So try not to do this little teeter-totter thing. It's more pacing it, and it's a little bit slower. So being a partner and doing thrusters is a little bit more challenging than doing thrusters on your own. Make it that challenge. Even if we're RX athlete with a skilled athlete, find a good weight where the scaled athlete is not making the RX athlete work too hard. Make yourself challenge each other to the right extent. For the toes to ring, you're gonna break these reps up. And now, if one of you guys is a little bit better at toes to ring, that's okay. Let them do a little bit more work than you need to so you can get through the workout a little bit quicker. Really slow down the kip on the toes to ring, because toes to bar you can control because the bar's so still. Rings will move forward and back, and your lats will have to do a little bit more work to actually get your toes up there. So I want to see the toes actually hit the ring or go past through that little hole of the ring. Now, for overhead squats, let's really focus on locking out your arms and not holding that little bent arm position right here. Really press those shoulders out and never stop extending. Again, just like our thrusters, hip crease below parallel at the same time, lock out, hips come through at the same time. For a run, pretty simple. Try to get that done in about a minute, maybe a minute 15. Find that pace. This is kind of that breather room for all the lifting you just did, and then you have 10 synchronized snatches. Now, if you're pretty strong and the snatch weight is pretty light, probably go cycle it. You can do 5 and 5 and it's pretty quick. 4, 3 and 3 is a good way as well. Just try not to rest as much. And if you are just trying to pace it and get ready for ring muscle ups, because that's your hardest part, go singles. It's a good way to catch your breath and not really waste a lot of energy, especially going into our 10 ring muscle ups. For our 10 ring muscle ups, you are sharing the reps. Now, if you're really good and you have a really good partner, 5 and 5 is a perfect break. Now, if you're really good and your partner's okay, 7-3, 6-4, you can always do that as well, and that's okay. Again, let your partner that's strong at it do more of the work, and for instance, it'll be a very similar breakdown as far as the stress on each other's body, because if you are a little bit, have a little bit of challenging, so you're challenged with ring muscle ups, it's okay if you do less reps, you're still gonna get that stressor just like the other athlete will. Now, if you really need to break down ring muscle ups and you're kind of getting it, like I said, you don't have to finish this workout. Sets of 2 are good, even singles are fine. Just see how far you can get through this workout. All right, guys, I hope you guys had a good week. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will catch you guys next week. Have a good one.